First of all, Jidenna, welcome to Toronto, Canada.
Thank you, yo.
What are
Yeah.
your? I don't know how often you've
I
been here. If you've had any experiences in the city or not.
I've been here. I've been
Yeah.
here a couple times.
Okay.
But I want to stay for like a proper stay. You know, like 3, 6 months, a year. And I'm honest about that. It by many. It's funny we're talking about some of our East African our stories and our friends though. Some of my homies who live in the States and also that live here, they say that this is their second favorite or sometimes first favorite city in North America. And it's usually New York, Toronto, New York, Toronto. So I've heard great things and I want to stay here. Every
Yeah.
time I'm here, I'm excited. It's so beautiful here. I really love it. Like I feel, we talk about homes, man. I feel a home here. I'm going to have to at least have a base
Yeah.
here. So I love the city.
The line that usually people use is the world in one city. When it comes to describing Toronto,
Thank God,
the
man.
world
Give
in one
thanks.
city,
Give
like a
thanks.
multiculturalism. Yeah, it is. It's very beautiful.
It
Yeah.
feels that way, yo.
Yeah.
It really does, and I think that's why there's some comparisons to New York because you have that as well.
Yeah.
It's a totally different
Yeah.
style than New York.
There's
so
a producer out, Elite from Dreamville.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, yo, this is the cleaner version of New York. Like
It's much
Toronto is a
cleaner.
cleaner version of New
It's
York.
much cleaner. It's much cleaner, man. And it feels like New York. There's certain things about it that are like London, and it's really dope, man. I walked around downtown all last night, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go in my disguise, you know. and
What's
just-
the disguise look like?
well, it wouldn't be a disguise if I tell you, man. You know I don't miss much now. So I walk around and be invisible again, which is actually a delight. And I walked around, man, I remember that frost sign right there. I just walked around and just felt it. And I'm excited to see here and outside. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know a lot of the life lives outside of downtown.
For sure, and I think there's a lot of energy now, excitement.
Yeah.
In terms of our art, people are saying we're going through a renaissance in Toronto.
Yeah.
Do you see that from the outside? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think Toronto and then Canada at large, right? You guys, in terms of entertainment and art, you have music, you have Hollywood, you have actors and singers and rappers out there in the world producing really high quality content, yo. You know, and that's the corporate way of saying they're producing things that are moving humanity. People are moved by people that come from this city and people that come from this country. So it's important to take notice at very least, if not study and learn from, because there's something, especially in the States, I say this humbly as a proud patriot, but it's something that we have to learn from other countries. It's not enough to just be American and know America. You got to know your neighbors at least. I want every American to know French and Spanish and English, you know? So I think it's a beautiful thing that's happening in Toronto, man. I salute y'all.
We were talking about before the interview started about our, being African, and I was telling you about where I'm from, and being Eritrean and having an Eritrean
Yeah.
father was a lot of pressure to perform, especially in education and all types of areas. Did you have any pressure from your father?
Your father's still alive?
Oh yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
by the way you speak.
yeah.
You see,
I love him. I love my father.
I know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
if my
yeah.
father was still alive, I'd speak like that, but
Yeah.
he's not. So I'm free from the pressure. Although what happens, man, my
Yeah.
friend, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
My father told me this the day he passed. He said, a son that does not question what happened to his father, what happened to his father will surely happen to him. And I say that to you because I'm sitting here free, but the pressures that he put on me, I now have as a man, as an individual. I put it on myself. So it's interesting how things are inherited. You get the royalty sometimes, other times you get the great work ethic, but you also get the pressure. And that's definitely in my mind, to always invent and always make something new. That's what my father instilled in me.
Why do you choose to put the pressure on you if he's gone? Like, why
I
you
don't
have
choose,
to?
bro.
Okay.
I don't choose. I'm addicted or obsessed. You can pick one. I don't know.
Okay.
Some people call it work ethic. Work ethic is nothing but obsession, bro. I'm not impressed by work ethic. That's great, man. You're obsessed, man. Everybody got their drug. So I don't choose it, man. It just is.
So the obsession, how do you manage that in your relationships around you, from loved ones or whatever? When you're obsessed, you're zoned in, right?
I have no
Yeah,
idea. That's why
yeah,
I make
yeah.
music, to figure it out. After I finish the album, I'm looking back like, why did you make that song? And you know what? I'm embarrassed by certain music I put out. I'll be like, man, why did you do that? Why did you
Really?
put that out?
You surprise yourself.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're like, wow, you really just told everybody that, you know? Or you really tried to disguise that. That's the things that really embarrass me, where you're like, you can see yourself, your insecurities in yourself, and you were fronting, trying to be somebody you weren't. That's the things that really make you embarrassed. And I know every real artist relates to that, because that's worse than purposefully saying, hey, this is how I felt at the moment.
Well, does it make for good art or no?
I think the balance between both sides, your mask on, it's a quote feature, mask on, mask off. Fuck it, mask off. When you go from that mask on moment to that fucking mask off moment, that's the moment where it feels great. But when you notice your mask on with your mask off, it don't feel good. But that's the balance, and that's what I think, that conversation and ping pong, that table tennis between those two poles, that's what makes great art.
Is that what the album is about? From Classic Man to The Chief?
Yeah, I'd
Like
say.
having those two dynamics, or?
Yeah, I'd say for sure. I don't think those are the opposite ends of the poles, though.
Okay.
I think there's a far further magic madman that's hidden in the story, you know. And I think that Classic Man and Chief is that's a two-step for me, bro. That's a shallow end of the pool, bro. I'll go way further than that, Bunna. That ain't nothing. So I think that as I move further, we'll get a little bit wilder, you know. I'm not too cool, man, and I never really like anybody who is.
You're not too cool?
Yeah, I don't like that thing, man. You know, when people are too cool for everything.
Too cool for
I feel like you
everything.
guys are
Yeah.
more open, maybe, but that's my naivety and my general excitement to be in cities I haven't lived in. But I think that for us in the States, there's a tendency right now to be too cool. But luckily, we have a president that makes it hard to be too cool.
Because it's like he shocked the system, kind of.
Yeah,
Of what can be
I'm,
possible.
I'm grateful for the
Yeah.
byproducts. Sometimes there's silver linings hidden within the thunderclouds.
And what do you think? Like, how do you think you guys are looking at yourself now? Of who's
I can't speak for everybody, bro. We're a
Okay.
very big country, very wide, so I don't even know. I don't know. I'm always looking at I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm figuring it out, but I have no idea, man.
that anything can be possible, though.
I think Obama taught us that, not Trump. He taught me that. I was like, oh, I can be president now? That's a new thought. I never had that thought. That was a new thought. Tupac told me, we ain't ready to have a black president, you know what I'm saying? But now, well, we more than ready. We done did it. So that's where I learned that, man. And God bless them. God bless that family for eternity.
You were talking about a story where I believe somebody saw you, like a manager or whatever, or a friend of a manager, and he said, you're too perfect.
Wow, you're well researched.
And that stuck with you.
Yeah, it did, man.
Why?
Yeah, man. That was Dimitri, the homie, man. Good
Dimitri.
friend, man. Yeah. He worked on and really was a brother to my other brother, Stromae. And together and with their family, they put on like an amazing album, an amazing tour. I love those guys so much. And after we did Madison Square Garden together, me and Stromae were dancing with our mothers. Our moms was there to represent. They were dope. We having a great time. And then I go to the bar, and Dimitri's there, and he says, you're too perfect. And he talked about the importance of vulnerability. Now, at the time, I was still, within my first year in the game. So I was young and still playing my rookie year. And I'd only put out a few songs. Long Live the Chief, the early version of it, was on like Vivo or something. Extraordinaire and Knickers ended the year alongside Classic Man. So it wasn't much. But from that, he was like, you know, you're mighty, but you got to show your vulnerable side, because that's where your true might comes from. And that stuck with me. And that's, I don't think without that conversation, I don't think I would ever made records like Bambi, you know.
Which is a dope record. Wrapping up, Jidenna, I appreciate your time. We're here at Manifesto Festival.
Yeah.
This is the 11th year.
Yeah, I know. I'm proud of you guys. You know, I've known you for more than 11 years. Shout out to Lava for Manifesto Jamaica. Actually, she and her crew used to run the chapter out of Kingston. You know, so I've known you since I was in high school, bro. And it's great to see this festival grow here and also grow in Jamaica.
Manifesto, the definition is a mission statement.
Yes.
What is your mission statement?
Wow. You want like the one in the clouds, or you want the one in like,
or what
the
is
universal one, or the
what
one
is the
that's
one
in
that
the
you're
clouds?
working on currently?
The one that I'm working on, I
Yeah.
want there to be an African Silk Road.
An African what?
Silk Road. That
Silk
means
Road, okay.
Yeah. I would
Trading and like.
trading, man.
Yeah.
It's happening already, but it has to
Yeah.
happen intentionally. And I don't mean that just Africans on the continent, but I mean that Africans in the entire diaspora. That's why you see the art, which should be at the forefront of commerce, actually. It should imagine further than the common person. That's what our job is as artists. That's why you see it prospering and people interested and fascinated by us. It's been that way for a while, especially amongst African Americans. Now it's moving on to Africans around the world, and it's great to see that. So I would like to see that Silk Road occur, and it's happening, but I want to push it forward. And I think that's what we're doing. So I'm guided.
Any last things that you want to say to the people who are watching this? Yeah.
Cheers. Ciao.
To the good life.
To the great life.
To the great life.
To making Africa and African diasporans great again.
Manifesto. Peace.
Manifesto.